gave you the sky, you gave me the rain. I held your name like a prayer in pain. We danced on glass, but I called it shine. Now I know your heart was never mine. We painted dreams on borrowed nights. You kissed me soft beneath dim lights, but love was quiet in your chest. I never made it past the rest. I thought I had a piece of you, but shadows hide what isn't true. I built a home where you just stay. You built a door to walk away. Your heart was never mine to hold, just echoes where the truth was cold. You smiled like love, but the signs were clear. You were close, but never near. Your arms were safe, your touch divine. You spoke in stars I couldn't read. I fed you love, you fed your need. I begged the silence for a sign, but I kept missing every line. You loved me in a borrowed way, just enough to make me stay. And still I felt like hearts collide, not knowing you were torn inside. Your heart was never mine to trust, just glass that shattered into dust. We danced on fire, but burned alone. You left and I loved on my own. Your words were sweet, your heart was never mine. A chapter wrong in someone's way. I held you like a sacred vow, but looking back I see it now. Your heart was never mine to say, just borrowed love I tried to erase. I gave you all, but you stayed blind to the kind of love you never find. You wrote my name like vintage wine, but truth is, your heart was never mine. So I'll let go, I'll draw the line, 'cause your heart was never mine. I gave you the best of me, laid down my soul where you couldn't see. Held you like the morning light, but love don't grow in borrowed nights. You held my hand, but not my light. Your heart was never mine. We built a world from whispered dreams, painted love in quiet schemes. I believed your every line, blind to all the warning signs. You said the words, you wore the face, but something stayed just out of place. I reached for more, you drew away. Love lived here but couldn't stay. And I kept holding past the proof, believed in us beyond the truth. But every time I crossed the line, your heart was never mine. Your heart was never mine to keep. I kissed you loud, you loved me deep, but only in a safer time. Your smile was close, your soul resigned. You loved me soft, but not aligned. You loved me soft, but not aligned. And was never mine. I saw forever in your eyes, but not all truths wear a clear disguise. You held me like a sacred vow, but love was never here and now. I made a home where you just stayed, but home don't hold, but love can't wait. I gave you space, I gave you life. You gave me half and held on tight. Oh, I made a home where you just stayed, but home don't hold, but love can't wait. I gave you space, I gave you gave me half and held on tight. You love me just enough to fall, but not enough to give your all. And now I see through every sign. Your heart was never mine, mine to touch. I wanted more, you wanted just a love that faithfully designed. You were impulse, the soul was signed, and I said don't react the lines, but never gave me your full sky. And still I tried, still I cried. Your heart was never mine. I don't blame you, I just know now. Some souls don't fit no matter how. You showed me love, but not your core, and I won't chase what's not mine. It's not mine anymore. Your heart was never mine to hold, and now that truth feels brave, not cold. I gave you more than you could give, and now I learn what it means to live. I'll find a love that gives in kind. My heart was yours, your heart was your mine. It was never mine. It wasn't hate, it wasn't lies, just love that never learned to rise. I'll set you free and I'll be fine. Your heart was never mine. I held your hand like it was forever, danced in the dark, chasing together. I kissed the hope onto your skin, but now I see where you've been. You smile like love, but it was borrowed. I dreamed of dawn, you lived in sorrow. I gave you all, line after line, still your heart was never mine. Your heart was never mine to keep. I loved you wide, you loved me deep, in memory, not in time. Your touch was warm, your eyes were kind, but the truth was hidden in the shine. Your heart was never mine. We built a house of stolen weather, cold in spring, too hot to tether. Your words said yes, your soul said wait, and I was just a twist of fate. I kissed the cracks, I called them stars, but love can't bloom from broken jars. I begged the night to draw a line, still your heart was never mine. Your heart was never mine to hold. I chased it soft, I chased it bold, in echoes, not in rhyme. Your laugh was light, your promise fine, but truth between the Your heart was never mine. I would have waited, I would have stayed, but you were always half ashamed. A love half spoken, undefined, not cruel, just never mine. Your heart was never mine to break. I only caught the love you fake, wrapped it up like twine. Your ghost still lives in every sign, but love like that won't realize. Your heart was never mine. It wasn't lies, it wasn't crime, but still, your heart was never mine. They get almost sinking at days. Girls, your hand on my we gone like the morning light. Love don't grow up in borrowed nights. You held my hand but not my light. Your heart was never mine. We built a world from whispered dreams, painted love in quiet schemes. I believed your every line, blind to all the warning signs. You said the words, you wore the face, but something stayed just out of place. I reached for more, you drew away. Love lived here, but couldn't stay. And I kept holding past the proof, believed in us beyond the truth. But every time I crossed the line, your heart was never mine. Your heart wasn't mine to keep. I kissed you loud, you loved me deep, but only in a safer time. Your smile was close, your soul resigned. You loved me soft, but not alive, and every beat was just a sign. Your heart was never mine. I saw forever in your eyes, but not all truths wear clear disguise. You held me like a sacred vow, but love was never here and now. I made a home where you just stayed, but home don't hold what love can leave. I gave you space, I gave you light, you gave me half and held on tight. You loved me just enough to fall, but not enough to give you all. And now I see through every sign. Your heart was never mine. Your heart was never mine to touch. I wanted more, you wanted just a love that fades beneath design. I danced in hope you realized, but never gave me a full sky. And still I tried, and still I cried. Your heart was never mine. I don't blame you, I just know now. Some souls don't fit, no matter how. You showed me love, but not your car, and I won't chase what's not mine anymore. Your heart was never mine to hold, and now that truth feels brave, not cold. I gave you more than you could give, and now I learn what it means to live. I'll find a love that gives in kind, but yours, your heart was never mine. It wasn't hate, it wasn't lies, just love that never learned to rise. I'll set you free, and I'll be fine. Your heart was never mine. I gave you all the light I had. You smiled like love, but it felt so sad. I reached for you 1,000 times, but somehow your heart was never mine. We kissed in silence, shared our fears, traded laughter, hid our tears. I held your world like it was gold, but your love always felt so cold. You stayed close but drifted far, loved me like a fading star. I saw forever in your eyes, but you were lost beneath the lies. You said enough to make me stay, but never meant to let me stay. I saw the truth between each line. Your heart was never mine. Your heart was never mine to know. Just passing seasons, painted snow. I gave you love, you gave me time. A borrowed beat, a borrowed rhyme. We touched like fire, we moved in line. But deep inside, your heart was never mine. We made a home from empty space. I filled the cracks, you left no trace. I said forever, you said try, but love can't live inside a lie. I traced your scars, I called them art. Still never reached your guarded heart. And every night you held me tight, but not the way you held the night. You danced like love was in the air, but I was never really there. I was a moment out of time. Your heart was never mine. Your heart was never mine to keep. Just borrowed words, a touch too deep. I felt alone, though you were near. It's hard to hold what isn't clear. We shared a bed, crossed the line, the truth remains. Your heart was never mine. It wasn't cruel, it wasn't wrong, just two hearts singing different songs. I loved you loud, you whispered fine, but all along, your heart was never mine. Your heart was never mine to feel. No matter how I tried to heal, I gave you soul, I gave you grace, but never found my rightful place. Now every word and every sign just proves again your heart was never mine. Original girl, your heart was never mine. I gave you my mornings, you gave me your night. I held on in color, you faded in white. I called it forever, but now I see the sign. Your heart was never mine. You said the words, I felt the space. 1,000 kisses couldn't trace the part of you that stayed behind, somewhere I can never find. We made the plans, we shared the bed, but dreams were louder than you said. I reached for more, you stayed half true. I was all in, but not you. You looked at me like love was real, but held it back, too scared to feel. And though you wore my name in time, your heart was never mine. Your heart was never mine to break. Still I held on for heaven's sake. I saw the light, you drew the line. We danced in love, but out of time. You touched like fire, but read like signs. In every way, your heart was never mine. I stayed through storms you wouldn't name, loved you loud, took all the blame. You let me in, but not too far. I was your moon, you chased a star. I wrote you songs, you sang along, but skipped the lines where love is strong. And now the silence feels so loud. I see the truth beneath the shroud. You played the part, but not the soul. You gave me hands and called them whole. And though your lips said you are mine, your heart was never mine. And your heart was never mine to hold. Just winter dressed in summer's gold. Fought for us with every breath, while you just stayed one step from death. Smiled like love, you stood in line. But darling, your heart was never mine. Maybe I was meant to teach, not to keep, just out of reach. I gave you love, I gave you time, but never reached what wasn't mine. Your heart was never mine to claim. Still I held on, still spoke your name. Now I let go, no need to try. The truth's been written in the sky. You were a moment, not a sign. And now I know your heart was never mine. It's not your fault, it's not a crime. But even in love, your heart was never mine.